Longevity is important, but today's important. Just by changing your breathing today, you can have more energy, more vitality, basically add more life to your days instead of more days to your life.
We always knew the importance of metabolic testing, but essentially it was very difficult to get access to the test. We have really democratized metabolic testing. We have made it accessible, we have made it actionable for the everyday consumer. Yes, we work with some, top teams. We work with, F1 racing teams. We work with NBA teams. We work with top athletes, but the largest part of our user base are everyday health and wellness enthusiasts that are training for life. You can always be healthier. You can always have an improved strategy for your longevity.
Welcome to the Brain Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick Porter. Please join us on our mission to better a billion brains. Enjoy the episode and remember to share it with your family and friends.
Hey, welcome back to the Brain Fitness Podcast. I'm here, your host, Dr. Patrick Porter. I've got a very special guest, a second time returning person to the podcast because we've seen such great results with using VO2 and Apostolos. You're going to tell us a little bit about the technology, what's behind it, how clinics can use this, and individuals can use this too, right? I mean, you don't have to be a clinical owner to use this device to find out. But first of all, let's talk about why is it so important that people know about this VO2 and this breathing process that you have in measurements and I know we've seen some fantastic results with it with BrainTap, but let's share a little bit about your history for those that maybe didn't see the first podcast and why it's important that people notice this.
Absolutely. First of all, Dr. Porter, thank you so much for the second invitation. It feels great to be back at the podcast, at the BrainTap podcast, and it's been a pleasure working together all this time. During the previous podcast, we discussed our findings. We Some of our users did a PNOE test before and after a BrainTap session, and we discussed a lot about this during our previous podcast. So the listeners could refer to the previous podcast if they want to hear more about this. And let me start by introducing myself. I'm Apostolos Atsalakis, founder of PNOE. And essentially, PNOE is we are a longevity company in the health tech space. We have created a platform, an ecosystem of services that we sell to our doctors, that we sell to our clinics. Everything starts from a breath analysis test. It's a resting test and an exercise test, often referred to as VO2 max. So we gather essentially 23 biomarkers of human physiology from resting and exercise. Some of our users are doing only the resting test, some are doing both. It really depends on the profile and the goals of our clients. And based on the data that we gather and the biomarkers, we provide personalized nutrition, workout, and overall wellness recommendations. Essentially, VO2 max, which is just one of the biomarkers that we measure. There has been a lot of buzz lately around VO2 max, and uh, it makes sense actually because it's hands down the strongest predictor of human longevity. We know from the literature that the higher our VO2 max is, the more we're expected to live. Every time we increase our VO2 max by 1 MET, we decrease our all-cause mortality by 15%. So there is a very, very strong correlation between VO2 max and longevity. And this has been established in the literature by several studies where they literally followed cohorts of hundreds of thousands of individuals. And they saw that the guys that had a higher VO2 max, they just stay around for a longer time. They live more. So we are able to measure VO2 max through the PNOE device. We're able to measure, many other biomarkers like how many calories an individual burns on a daily basis. whether their body is utilizing fats or carbs as essentially as the fuel and at which breakdown. And based on all these subsystems of human physiology that we assess, the metabolism, the heart, the lungs, the way we breathe, we provide very personalized recommendations to the clients of our clients, to the clients of our doctors. We are a B2B company. We sell our ecosystem to businesses in the wellness and medical space. And Dr. Border, it's been such a pleasure that hearing about stories from PNOE users and BrainTap users, how they're using both of our products and how essentially they are changing the lives of their patients out there.
Yeah. It's great to know when you can get the numbers because people, you can't guess at this. I mean, this is something you got to have some kind of technology. And you've advanced the technology to such a degree that the reports are incredible. I mean, for those that are watching the video, we'll have some B-roll in the background here while we're talking here to show you some of the reports and findings that we've seen. It's just it's incredible what's happening. Can you tell us a little bit about how case uses, like in the clinics, how they're using it to help their clients to get the results that they want from?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've seen that the PNOE ecosystem is a very powerful tool in order to uh, recommend the right services, the right treatments to the patients, depending on the limitations identified from the test. And also, it's a very powerful uh, retention driver, really. So what our team does and we have a dedicated account manager for every single client of ours, for every single clinic of ours, and we map the biomarkers to the treatments, to the services that they offer. So if a clinic is offering BrainTap, red light therapy, IV, different treatments, we will connect the PNOE biomarkers to these treatments, and depending on the limitations identified from the test, we would recommend which treatments are more relevant for the patient. And we've seen that this is extremely helpful because it provides a truly personalized treatment recommendation for the patients, and also it after several treatments, the doctor can repeat the PNOE assessment and could monitor the improvement. It could monitor the progress of their patients and demonstrate this improvement to their patients actually. And we've seen that there are many treatments that the patients they feel great after they do it, but it's very difficult to quantify the progress. It's very difficult to really, understand how this is improving their physiology. Uh, and we've seen that through our through the PNOE dashboard of human physiology, because it is such a holistic assessment, we're able to track these changes and assess how these treatments are improving the patient's overall physiology. I've seen, for example, many cases that when a patient understands that several treatments are decreasing their biological age, for example, that we quantify through VO2 max, this becomes a very important driver for the patient to just continue to do the treatment for a long period. So we're not just selling a device. We're not just selling some services to our doctors. We are customizing the PNOE ecosystem for every single clinic, and we are connecting uh, our biomarkers to their treatments and to their business KPIs in order to facilitate facilitate our clients to achieve their business goals, really. So, Dr. Porter, to your question, every clinic is a little bit different on how they use their PNOE device, and we've seen that this is how we can deliver the maximum value to our clients. And we offer the account management and the necessary resources in order to give to every business the unique attention that they deserve.
That's great. Yeah. So when you see this, I know they use it a lot in sports. A lot of people think of this as just something they use for sports high performance, peak performance people, but people are using this in the wellness industry now. So when they're using it in the wellness industry, you mentioned something about retention because I know our doctors are really concerned because people they look at pain or some other symptom, and once that symptom is resolved, they think that's it. But can you tell us a little bit about how PNOE helps them stay on the journey? Because wellness isn't, there's no there really. I mean, it's a continuous process of improvement in improving the physiology, psychology, and just everything about the body. So can you tell us a little bit about how that journey works with PNOE?
Absolutely. So you brought a very important point, Dr. Porter. Essentially, in the past, VO2 max was not widely used, and it was mainly used by athletes, by wellness programs of executives. It was like due to the limited equipment, due to the limitations of the equipment, it was severely underutilized. We always knew the importance of metabolic testing, but the essentially it was very difficult to get access to the test. And this is one of the disruptions that we have brought as a company because we have really democratized metabolic testing. We have made it accessible, we have made it actionable for the everyday consumer, and we have really made the unit economics for the business meaningful. So at this point, if you look at our user base, yes, we work with some, top teams. We work with, F1 racing teams. We work with NBA teams. We work with top athletes, but the largest part of our user base are everyday health and wellness enthusiasts that are training for life, that are doing treatments to become healthier. Because, as you very well said, I mean, there is not a point, there is not a threshold that you need to reach. You can always be healthier, you can always have an improved strategy for your longevity. And through our ecosystem of the test, the report, the personalized nutrition plans, the personalized workout plans, the personalized treatment recommendations that we provide through our app and through our software ecosystem, we really make metabolic data actionable to the everyday person. And because this becomes actionable, this eventually metabolic testing becomes a valuable tool for the retention of the business, which is, it's something that every clinic is monitoring, the retention of their clients, because they are able to easily track and demonstrate the physiology improvement of their patients. And breath analysis really has an edge when compared to other diagnostics because it's non-invasive, the results are instant, and the unit economics are great for the business. No matter whether you measure, two patients a month or 30 patients a month or 300 patients a month, metabolic testing is very affordable, and the ROI in the way our business model is structured is almost instant for the business. So this is why we've seen that usually breath analysis and metabolic testing is the first line of diagnostics. It's the first line of assessing the physiology of the patients to demonstrate the before and after. And this is what really helps our clinics with retention.
I know one of the things at BrainTap we always talk about. People really don't know how to breathe. They hold their breath. They don't regulate their breathing. They don't do these kind of things, and this gives them an assessment tool that helps them to do that. So when they buy the equipment and they get in their office, how difficult is it for them to use?
Uh, Indeed, we've seen a lot through our tests that there are severe breathing limitations, uh, and by doing some breathing training, this could be very easily improved. Breathing limitations are usually, low-hanging fruits, easy improvements for the patients. In fact, Dr. Porter, we saw that BrainTap really helps to improve the breathing of the patients because we saw that the PNOE test before and after a BrainTap session, we saw that breathing frequency drops. Breathing frequency is defined as the number of breaths that someone takes during a minute. So we saw that BrainTap helps the patient to relax, and this is why their breathing frequency drops. But we're able to evaluate many dimensions of breathing. We're able to evaluate the volume of our lungs. We're able to evaluate whether we hyperventilate, hypoventilate, which has to do with the amount of oxygen that we consume and carbon dioxide that we produce per breathing cycle. We're able to understand the breathing frequency, and this is really the alphabet. This is really the building blocks of breathing, and we can monitor the improvement that breathing training can can show can actually create for the patients.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't understand the correlation between breathing and actually spinal fluid and how it affects the skull because the skull should be opening and closing. I mean, we have these suture points in our skull, and as we breathe, our brain literally every cell respirates and breathes. And so it all starts with, of course, the in breath and the out breath that we have. And if we're in a state of sympathetic drive or fight or flight or parasympathetic, it has a direct response on that. And so when we're working with somebody like with a TBI or a concussion, and we're looking at their breathing sequence, how quickly do you see when they start to notice it and they start to do these breathing exercises? How quickly can they start to see results? I mean, of course, they're going to do other therapies at their clinic, but the real deal is they want to know, hey, if I'm doing these exercises, what am I going to notice in my VO2 max?
Yes, so we've seen that the improvements are pretty quick, actually. We've seen cyclists that were using 3 liters of their lungs. Uh, so they were underutilizing the capacity of their lungs during exercise. They were able to engage 5 liters of their lungs because we are all underutilizing the capacity of our lungs. We're underutilizing our alveoles, our lung alveoles. And by training, we can start using more and more of our lungs. So with a single breath, we can absorb more oxygen, and this essentially increases our VO2 max, which is one of the one of the parameters of breathing that we assess. But to your point, Dr. Porter, we've seen from the literature, and I totally agree that our cognitive capacity and our posture is substantially uh, linked to our breathing. There is literature out there that shows that if we take nice deep breaths, if we do deep breathing, this is linked to a stronger core uh, and to a lower risk for lower back pain. And also, if we do not hyperventilate or hypoventilate during exercise, this is linked to better decision making during exercise. For example, in the case of extreme sport athletes or athletes in general, they maintain a better mental clarity during exercise if they breathe correctly. And Breathing is such an important part of our life, and it affects so many systems of our physiology. Uh, if we just take into account how many thousands of breaths we take during a day, and by changing this mechanism, this can have a massive effect in our physiology, in our posture, in our cognitive capacity, as you said. And we've seen that it could be substantially improved if the right breathing training is followed.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people think it's just a like a subconscious thing. They just let their breath happen. And of course, life happens and then life trains our breathing. And if we're in a state of constant fear, or if we look at life as an optimist or a pessimist, it's going to affect our breathing, because if we're in a state of fear or frustration. So as you work with this process and working in, can you tell us some of the maybe some of the breakthroughs you've seen with PNOE? I mean, we have the podcast about BrainTap and how we had 30% metabolism, fat metabolism. So if you're out there wondering, gosh, what does that have to do with it? But because we're obviously the Brain Fitness podcast and people's cognition. I mean, when you have oxygen to the brain, you can think better, you can perform better, you can sleep better. All of these things. What things can you share with us about that?
Yes, so if we breathe better, both during our day-to-day and during our sleep, this substantially changes our brain health. This substantially improves our clarity, our resting. Breathing is such an important mechanism, and also it's really, it's a chain of things. It's our breathing, our resting, our nutrition, and our workout that all need to be uh, aligned arrows pointing to the same direction of longevity. And PNOE could also be very insightful about a personalized nutrition and a personalized workout plan. And what we've seen, Dr. Porter, is that many of our clinics, they're very busy offering the treatments that they offer to their patients, very busy focusing on what they do best, but they lack an infrastructure of providing personalized nutrition recommendations and personalized, wellness and training recommendations to their patients. Through the PNOE ecosystem, we have an end-to-end solution that they can generate actually a nutrition plan and workout plan tied to the metabolic fingerprint that we measure, and they just upsell these services to their patients. So they are upselling the services, and they are creating and they're offering an even more holistic value to their patients.
Yeah. Yeah, we're finding today that you can't just do one thing. Specialists are great, but now people are looking for wellness because we have a sick care industry out there, and everybody waits till they get a breakdown to have a breakthrough, and we're looking to maximize health. And longevity is important, but today's important. Just by changing your breathing today, you can have more energy, more vitality, basically add more life to your days instead of more days to your life, and things of that nature. So tell us a little bit more about how we can find out more about PNOE, so that those that are interested and say, hey, wow, this sparked my interest, where can they find out more?
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. Porter. And just to add something on what you said, because it was very interesting. So, one of the most exciting things that I have observed, since I founded the company, is that our physiology uh, is worked in such a way that if we take the right decisions and we put in the effort in the right direction, we have a massive return. So you don't need to, train 3 hours a day in order to improve your VO2 max. 30 minutes a week or 60 minutes a week is enough if done correctly. If someone does a personalized high intensity interval training through the training zones that are measured by a PNOE test, or if someone is training at his so-called zone 2, which is an intensity that our body is maximizing its fat utilization. And again, 2 or 3 hours a week at zone 2, which is, a fast walking pace, is enough. We can achieve massive outcomes. So it's not about, putting in a massive amount of effort. It's about doing it correctly and quantifying what your body needs, right? And this applies to our breathing, this applies to our nutrition, this applies to our workout, to the treatments, to everything. And this is why I'm very excited about our collaboration, and this is why I'm very excited to spread the word out there and have more clinics combining PNOE and BrainTap. So if someone is interested in what we do, they can reach out through our website, which is www.pnoe.com, www.pnoe.com, or through our Instagram, which is PNOE underscore analytics. And we have secured a special discount for all BrainTap users out there because we really believe that our products could combine perfectly, and there is a ton of value if our clinics start utilizing them in combination.
Yeah, and doctors out there that are using BrainTap right now, when you come to our clinic in New Bern, North Carolina, or once we open up Mystic Pines, our research facility that's going to be a retreat center, we do this with everyone. We measure their VO2 max. They go through a day or a week of training, and we show them how breath has a big effect. I mean, there are people doing retreats that just go and breathe for a week. I mean, people go, well, that's silly. No, it's not silly. I mean, this is a critical part of our physiology, and it affects our psychology because it actually changes the way the brain functions. If we can get blood flow circulation to the brain, we're going to be thinking better, performing better, like I said before. And the main thing is that I think that people find that there's so many sleep problems out there today. And the sleep problem isn't just when they're asleep, it's what they do during the day. I mean, the subconscious is compartmentalizing, organizing all their thoughts during the day. And if they didn't do the right breath work during the day, or they got off on their breathing schedule, or they got a lot of fear or a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety, they didn't clear that out before they went to sleep, that's going to affect their breathing, wouldn't you say?
100%, 100%. And this is why it's so important, for our users to, improve their breathing through breathing training, through brain tap sessions, through and aligning it with their nutrition and the workout so they rest better, their body essentially really takes a good night rest, and then they're ready for the next day.
Right. So if you're interested in learning more about PNOE, remember, go to PNOE.com. We'll have all the links in the show notes. We'll have the contact information. You can go back and watch the other video where we took a deep dive into our study we did together, which was phenomenal. We love that. And your oxygen has a lot to do with your metabolism. So if you're out there having a weight problem or you have a weight loss program, this is a critical component that you can add that actually shows with evidence. I mean, one thing is clients can argue about foods and about what they should do, exercise, but they really can't argue about their own numbers. I mean, these are numbers that are based in science, that are proven to be true. And once they get their metabolic rate going right, I mean, it's like a plane in atmosphere. You know, it can fly. It doesn't use as much energy. You'll sustain. You'll have better attitude. You'll have more positive outcomes. So, what have I forgot to ask you about that you want to share with the Brain Fitness Nation here?
I think that we have covered many topics. You raised an important point actually about weight loss and how PNOE could be used in weight loss and medical weight loss programs. Essentially, we've seen that it's very important to align the nutrition and the workout with medical weight loss. And in this way, the so-called metabolic slowdown could be reversed, which is kind of an issue in medical weight loss. And this is why we have many, this is why we work with many weight loss clinics. This is why we work with many longevity clinics that are offering medical weight loss. So PNOE and the metabolic data that we provide in combination with the nutrition and the workout recommendations is a very important pillar that could be added to any medical weight loss program out there. And we work with many clinics that are offering peptides, IVs. Like we work with clinics across the board of wellness and longevity and weight loss, and we would be very excited uh, to hear about the clinics of our listeners and explain to them how PNOE could be offered to their patients.
This is great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know are you in Greece right now? Is that where you're at? Speaking from?
Yes, I actually crossed the Atlantic 2 days ago, and currently you find me in Athens, Greece, Dr. Porter. And yeah, it's beautiful today. It has, it's a nice sunny day. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. Well, we always appreciate seeing you at conferences we're at and sharing your technology with the world. And I think it's important that people understand that it's not just something you do 21,000 times a day. As they say, it's something that you can start to control, just like controlling your heartbeat. Calming down. The breath controls the heart rate. I mean, all these things are controlled by first with your breath. It all starts with the breath. I mean, what do you do the first thing you arrive on planet Earth? You take a deep breath in.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so let's start looking at our breath and looking at it holistically and with metabolic data. I mean, I'm so impressed with what you've done as far as putting together the metabolic data and helping the doctors to serve their communities. We're out here to support you in BrainTap Nation. If you have anyone out there that you feel could benefit from this, maybe they have a problem with their breathing right now, or maybe they're under stress or anxiety or fear, maybe they had a traumatic brain injury, please get them to listen to this podcast, get this to their doctors, get them to understand that there is a way to measure this. It doesn't come in a pill or a package or a lotion. It actually comes from the air you breathe, but we need to measure it. So once you measure it, now you have something you can work on. And then you can see the benefits. Because one thing is, we all want to we don't want to just do something to be doing something. We want to see actionable results, and that's what I think is so fantastic. So I applaud you in all the work you've done in putting this all together, because this was something you could only get if you had COPD or something and you're going into the hospital and people would pay phenomenal amounts of money for it. And you've made it affordable to the practitioners and you've made it available to their clients. I appreciate what you're doing. So thanks for being on the Brain Fitness podcast.
Thank you, Dr. Porter, and thank you for your kind words. It has been a pleasure working with you, and as always, it's very great. It's very nice to see your team at the conferences that we do, and I'm sure we'll meet in the coming months again. And we're very, very excited about our growing collaboration and about the amplified value that the combination of our products delivers to the patients.
Yes.
Thank you for the invitation today.
All right. Thank you. All right, BrainTap Nation. If you've listened this far, you know that I'm on a mission to better 1 billion brains. And if you've listened this far, you know it's your brain I'm talking to right now. So we want to amplify your effectiveness. You are far greater than you've been led to believe. Far more capable than others have told you about. You have a physiology, a psychology, and a innate intelligence that just needs to be activated. And this is one of the tools that can show you how just by simply breathing correctly and doing exercises can improve your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. Every part of your life will improve once you improve your breathing. So please share and like this podcast. Let's get it out to the world. Let's let them know that they can measure it And once it's measured, they can improve it or they can maximize it, because that's what we're talking about here, VO2 max. We're going to maximize the efficiency of our metabolic system. So again, BrainTap Nation, thank you. Please stay tuned for the next Brain Fitness podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on our mission to better a billion brains. Follow at Dr. Patrick Porter on social media for updates, and remember to practice brain fitness every day.